think about whether you want to present yourself to the world as a donor, as a sustainer, campaigner, or launcher funder.
Okay.
It'll make your dollar go further, and it'll really help the nonprofits to know how they can talk to you about the work.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing, Sybil. And
Thanks, Alex.
You put it in such a structured way, you articulate it so well. It actually makes sense, to me, because in normal situations, when it comes to charitable giving, a lot of us, it can be just random. You hear a campaign, maybe something is happening in Afghanistan, or there's been a natural disaster, and all these charities come up with campaigns, we need to do this. And that's what we all think about, because there's some emotional connection to the cause, and we just give the money away. But when we actually think about in the way that you've articulated across those three areas, then it begins to make sense, because to you as a person who is giving away, you now have your particular cause, your particular passion that you're actually giving away, rather than following a campaign or something. Of course, you can give to those.
Yeah, Alex, I love that you're talking about that with the natural disaster piece. It made me think about that. Let me use an example just to sort of illustrate this more. So let's say you're a funder that has a long history with the Red Cross, and you really love what they do, and they do amazing work around the world. And so you care about them and their priorities and what they're doing. So if you're a sustainer funder, then you give to the Red Cross every year, and you say, I care about your mission and what you're doing. And there may be a few other nonprofits like the Red Cross that you give to too, and you're happy, and you go along with your daily life and you're happy. That's what you do. However, let's say you have a particular connection with Haiti, and you really, really care about the community and the communities in Haiti. And, there have been some really intense natural disasters there. But if you care about Haiti specifically and supporting communities in Haiti, then you're more of what I call a campaigner funder or a launcher funder, where then what you're going to want to do is really dig into the charities in Haiti. Think about strategies to support projects in Haiti. And then the Red Cross, you'll support the Red Cross in as much as they're helping communities in Haiti, but you won't necessarily give the Red Cross general support money because it's not the focus of your attentions. And when I say it out loud, again, I feel like some of the stuff I say sounds really obvious, but the thing is if we don't think about it deliberately, then it can get lost. As you start giving in the world, you can start getting really a lot of proposals, and it can get really confusing and messy really fast if you don't stay true to some of those pieces as a donor.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Sybil. Now, if we go to the very top of just thinking about giving to worthy causes and charities, in the end, obviously we talk about, things that people are passionate about, but they are giving some money away or something away. Isn't there an element of mindset as well? What should people think about from a mindset point of view, why they should give their money away? Because they might as well just spend it on nice holidays, or go and all those kind of things. Why should they give their money away?
Well, okay. So, there's the heart part of it, and then there's the logic part.
Yeah.
So I want to speak to both of those. So the heart part is giving money away. It is a good thing in the world to do. It's ethical. There's a lot of wealth disparity in the world, and there are good people who are trying to do good things.
Yeah.
And that's just the to be idealistic and good. It feels good to give it away.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you have to give it all away. It doesn't mean you have to give up a lot to do it. But it is important to be able to give through your heart. And to me, that really gives back to just a fulfillment in your life. But then let's talk about the logical pieces that I think sing true as well. So not only should it feel good to you, but even if it's something that's like, oh my gosh, I feel really stressed about it, and it doesn't feel good because I feel guilty, or some other valid reason, right?
Yeah.
Let's go to the logical. So logical pieces, there's like so many of them, but let's list a few of them. The first one is, if you give and you have a family or you have people who you mentor who are in the next generation, the younger generation, and they see you do that. If you give both financially to important charities, but also volunteer your time and do other ways of giving in the world, then the next generation, your kids or any other kids that you might mentor, if you teach them or you're a big brother, big sister to them or anything, they will see that. Yeah. And just like I saw that in my family, and I can't tell you how many folks I interview who give back now and say, this was a culture in my family of giving. And it's just the way we did things. So that's a really wonderful thing, is you're instilling a legacy of giving back to the world. The next sort of more logistical thing that's really good, that's like tangible, that you can give, why you can give back, is sometimes when you're giving funds to nonprofits and charities, you are leveraging the dollars you give. So sometimes every dollar you give, if you do it the right way, can leverage many, many dollars from other private philanthropic institutions to get a job done that you think is really important in the world. So you genuinely care about something and you want to see a difference. And so your dollar, instead of, if you didn't give it away, then nothing might happen in that area. But if you did give it away, you might be able to move an issue forward where other funders start funding it. Government institutions start seeing that it's an important thing and put more money into it. So you literally can up your dollar. And if you're giving through your business, that charitable giving can actually maybe help move something forward that you think is really important in your business. So it actually could come full circle beyond just the ethical, important, good things to do about giving to help your business or help move something forward that you personally think is critical to help with your kids or other things in your personal life, right? So, and I've seen that happen. I mean, that really does. If you give your money away well and with intelligence in terms of like how you do it, you really will leverage your dollars. So to circle that right back. So those are a few of the logical things. So above and beyond, it just could feel good and great to give away money. You can really instill giving in the next generation of people. And how do we want our society to be, right? We want our society to be a society of giving, a society of supporting, bringing folks up in the world. But also you can leverage dollars and you can move real issues forward in a way that you feel need to move forward. And that's practical. Right. And if you didn't give your money away, it wouldn't happen.
Absolutely. And actually, thinking of it in another way as well. When you give, you're creating that space for you to actually receive more as well, isn't it? Exactly. So I think was it Jim Rohn who says giving is the best because it paves the way for actually you to receive. And there is a sort of a mindset aspect to it. Like I say, if you understand it in that terms, it's like if you have a full cup, that's like full, until and unless you actually empty it, you can't get any more into it, So I guess that's
I want to share a personal experience like that, where I was, before I helped donors give money away, I was a nonprofit professional, right? So I raised money, and actually I became a funder because one of the donors who funded the work I did as a nonprofit professional asked me to run his foundation. So that's how I changed over to becoming a donor. But I had over 10 years of being a person who was raising money. And in that experience, one of the things I want to share with you about the giving back piece is a company called Patagonia. What they did when I was a nonprofit person is they gave special discounts to nonprofit folks who were grantees of theirs. so that the employees could get their gear, because they're an outdoor gear company, way inexpensively. And I was really working for pennies at that point. So I couldn't have afforded to get new gear, but I loved to be outside and to hike and be out in the woods, but I didn't really have the gear to keep me in that place at that point. Just the extra piece. And so instead, what I was able to do is they pretty much gave us these great outdoor jackets and other things so that I could actually be able to get out in the outdoors in a comfortable way. And I have such great fond memories of them that carries with me to today. Yeah. And they have an ethic of outdoors, adventure, and they support some of the environmental work that a lot of my colleagues are doing. And I actually partner with their foundation now, working with other clients. But it all comes back to when I was like in my early 20s and I was pinching pennies. And again, I'm still come from a place, I don't want to act like I was so in the dirt of punching pennies, because I respect that I come from a place of wonderful privilege and support from my family. But at the same time, I was feeling it, right? And Patagonia came through and they really helped there. And then I partner with them now. And so that's an example of a business that has really connected their interests and it has come back tenfold to them, I would suggest.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's a great story. Thanks for sharing that, Sybil. Now, in terms of you and your business, like on a sort of like step-by-step way that you help. So, for example, listeners, to this podcast, they've got businesses and they've decided whether it's a cause or a launch or something that they want to give to. How specifically on a step-by-step way do you actually help them to actually do that in an ethical way?
Yes. So the one-on-one clients I have, I do a few things, and then the do your good piece, I'll tell you about that too. Yeah. So one-on-one clients, what I do is I will work with them. It depends on where they are in their strategy. So some clients I have already gone through the hard work of figuring out what it is they want to fund. Yeah. So if they do that, then they come to me and they say, I know what I want to fund, but I want to do it effectively. Yeah. And so I create a strategy for them for how to fund effectively. I do interviews and research and figure out which nonprofits to connect them with and make sure that we have a good strategy that is timely and moves forward. Yeah. Okay. And I'll do that. And then I also if they figured that out, sometimes they'll then hire me to then essentially implement. So then I implement soup to nuts. I manage back end work of like processing the grants and all that kind of stuff. And I help them with their trustee meetings or one-on-one donor conversations, give them updates on how things are going, make sure that I'm in very close contact with the nonprofits, right? So I know what's going on, have a good trusting relationship there. This I do that when trustees or donors don't have time, because a lot of trustees and donors or businesses, they're busy running their business or they're busy with their daily life. And so this is my life, is talking to nonprofits and figuring out those things. And so then I do have clients that are long term, where I essentially manage their work for them, but then recommend to them. We have meetings. It's never me that I'm never in control at the end of any of the funding. It's the family or the donor. And so I'll always put forward the pieces. So that's what I do with one-on-one clients. With Do Your Good, I'm trying to outsource this so that more people can gain wisdom and decide if they want to, they can do stuff on their own too, right? So with my Do Your Good, I'm creating these special mini courses to help people. And then my mini courses in Do Your Good it's going to launch in just a few weeks. I'm not sure when you're going to publish this podcast episode, but what I'm talking about is probably in end of October, early November, 2021. But I've got everything recorded. We're just literally putting it up on our website, making sure all the last things work. Yeah. And these mini courses focus on things like the sustainer, campaigner, launcher strategy. Yeah. How do you figure out how to do that? They focus on collaborations. If you're going to fund collaborations, how to do that well. They focus on budgets, how to read budgets well. There are a whole bunch of things I focus on. I also have a whole section in my mini course, and you can pick one of them. You don't have to pick them all, because I figure, I want to learn a little more about budgets. Let me do this, right? Yeah. And I also have a really interesting one. I love doing this one, which is called How to Make Sure You're Not in a Funder Bubble. to make sure that you give with humility, because a lot of challenges people have as donors is nonprofits pitch you what they think you want to hear. And then what happens is you stop making good decisions over time because you don't actually hear about the nitty gritty or the failures or other things. So how do you set yourself up as a funder so you can hear the real scoop on stuff? So those are the kind of mini courses that I'm putting forward. And I also am creating in parallel a set of courses for nonprofits, mini courses too. So that's the whole shebang.